Jonah Berger's Contagious explores why certain ideas, products, or pieces of content go viral while others, even better ones, are ignored. As a marketing professor, Berger grounds the book in research, but he tells the story with clarity and strong examples, making it a practical manual for creators, marketers, and storytellers. His central argument is that virality isn't luck or magic, it's the result of specific triggers and psychological patterns. If you understand these patterns, you can craft ideas that naturally spread. At the core of the book is the STPPS framework: social currency, triggers, emotion, public, practical value, and stories. These are 6 principles that, when embedded into your content, dramatically increase the chances that people will talk about and share it. Berger doesn't just list them, he unpacks them through anecdotes, experiments, and case studies, showing exactly how to use them in storytelling and marketing. The first principle is social currency. People share things that make them look good, smart, funny, or interesting. As a storyteller or content creator, you must give your audience something they feel proud to pass along. If a viewer watches your video and thinks, "This will make me look clever if I show it to my friends," that's social currency at work. Berger explains that exclusivity, behind-the-scenes insights, or surprising facts can increase social currency because they feel like a secret worth sharing. Triggers are cues in the environment that prompt people to think about your idea. Unlike emotion, triggers are often subtle and contextual. Berger's classic example is how the song, "Friday," by Rebecca Black saw spikes in listens on Fridays, not because people loved it, but because Friday itself became a natural reminder. For creators, the takeaway is clear: associate your work with something recurring or situational, so it's more likely to be remembered and brought up. A video about coffee productivity hacks might do best on Mondays, when people are most in need of it. Emotion is one of the strongest tools in storytelling. People share things not just because they're useful, but because they make them feel something. Berger's research shows that high arousal emotions, like awe, anger, anxiety, or amusement, are more likely to spark sharing than low arousal ones like sadness or contentment. This doesn't mean your stories must be extreme, but they should create movement in your audience's emotional state. A design tutorial that sparks creative excitement will travel further than one that simply informs. The fourth principle, public, is about visibility. If something is observable, it's easier to imitate. Berger discusses how people copy behavior they can see, such as choosing crowded restaurants or mimicking trending content. This is critical in marketing and content creation. Your work must be visible in order to spread. Subtle design cues, branding elements, or calls to action that leave a public trace, like shares, comments, or user-generated content, can build momentum. Make your audience's engagement visible so it creates social proof. Practical value focuses on the utility of your content. If something is genuinely helpful, people will want to share it, not just to be generous, but to boost their own credibility. Berger highlights how life hacks, how TOS, or advice-based content performs extremely well because people love being a source of valuable information. For content creators, this is permission to lean into educational storytelling. But the presentation matters too. Clear framing, strong headlines, and accessible language increase the perceived value of the content. Finally, Berger explores stories as a vessel for all the previous principles. People don't pass along dry facts, they pass along stories. But not just any stories, contagious ones weave your message into a narrative so that it can't be removed without ruining the story. Think of a video that teaches a concept through a relatable scenario or a brand origin story embedded in a customer experience. Your message must ride the story like a Trojan horse. It shouldn't feel tacked on, but essential to the tale. One of the most important storytelling lessons in the book is that sharing is not just about you or your brand, it's about what your audience wants to say about themselves. When people share content, they are performing identity. If you understand your audience's values and aspirations, you can craft content that lets them express those things by proxy. This is true for everything from a viral tweet to a documentary film to a product review. Berger also emphasizes the role of surprise in making stories memorable. Our brains are wired to notice what's different, what deviates from the expected. A story that starts in a familiar place but ends somewhere unexpected sticks better. This principle is extremely useful when crafting intros and hooks. Start where your viewer feels safe or seen, then shift quickly into the unexpected. This jolt of contrast sparks interest and increases the chance of word-of-mouth sharing. Throughout the book, Berger uses real-world examples, from the viral success of Blendtex, Will It Blend? Videos to the popularity of $100 cheesesteaks, to illustrate how these principles work in practice. These stories show how to bake marketing into the content itself, rather than relying on ads or gimmicks. The most contagious ideas are self-propelling because they contain their own reasons to spread. He also warns against relying on vanity metrics. Just because something is liked or viewed doesn't mean it changed behavior. True virality affects what people do, not just what they see. For creators, this means crafting content that sticks with people long enough to make them act, subscribe, share, comment, or apply the idea to their life. Surface-level engagement isn't enough. You need depth. Another nuanced point is timing. Berger argues that content doesn't just need to be good, it needs to be shared at the right moment. This reinforces the importance of triggers. If your content aligns with something in the viewer's current world, seasonal events, trending conversations, or daily routines, it's far more likely to be remembered and re-engaged. Great storytelling is often about good timing. While Contagious is structured around marketing principles, its deepest message is about empathy. To make ideas spread, you must think like your audience. What do they care about? What problems do they face? What kind of content would make them feel smart, inspired, connected, or useful? When you tell stories from that place, generous, aligned with emotion and identity, your message becomes more than content. It becomes social currency. In the end, Berger reminds us that virality isn't an accident, it's design. Each of the STPPS principles gives you a lever to pull. When used thoughtfully, they allow creators to construct stories that don't just inform or entertain but move. Contagious isn't a formula for manipulation. It's a framework for creating things worth sharing. Whether you're a YouTuber, writer, designer, or entrepreneur, understanding these principles turns your audience from passive viewers into active amplifiers.